SmackDown took place in the city that hosted the first ever SmackDown, Kansas City, Missouri. And you had Sami Zayn coming out first. Fans did not like him as he was a special guest referee for the undisputed WWE Championship match, which was opening the show. Then the challenger Gunther came out to booze, and then the champion Cody Rhodes came out to a babyface pop. We got our opening match. Undisputed WWE Championship on the line. Cody Rhodes defending his title against Gunther with Sami Zayn as a special guest referee. So this was more of an angle than a match, to be honest. Sami actually caught Gunther's foot under the rope. They kind of, in a way, paid off the Clash in Italy spot because the referee, who's a traditional referee, he didn't catch Gunther's foot under the rope. This time Sami did. But that leads to Cody arguing with Sami, who pushes Cody out, and then frustration after Cody pushed him. And Sami pushes Cody into the sleeper hold that Gunther had on, but Cody survives. Then Sami fights with Gunther. Gunther ends up powerbombing Sami. And then Gunther kicks out of a crossroads. Later, when Gunther has the pinfall, perhaps victory over Cody, that's when Sami Zayn pulls the referee out. And this was a new referee who came out, a traditional ref. Sami took out that referee. And then what happened was Gunther has his hands on the rope. Cody's trying to roll him up, but Gunther has his hands. Sami kicks out Gunther's hands, and then Cody gets a roll up, and Sami quickly fast counts Gunther 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn screws over Gunther this time. Cody Rhodes retains. He does not look happy afterwards. And then they go to Cody and Gunther yelling at Nick Aldis and Gorilla backstage. Cody goes back to the ring to restart the match. And then they show Gunther attacking Sami and Gorilla. And then the match restarts. Cody and Gunther. Gunther getting his third title shot in less than 3 weeks. Clash in Italy, he failed. Then the first match night on SmackDown, he failed. And this time, he technically beat Cody by disqualification, because what happened was Sami hit a Haluva kick on Gunther, causing a disqualification. So it's technically a victory for Gunther. Then he hits the referee, and he hits Cody in the head with the championship belt, kind of by accident, but not really. And this was just an angle to set up a triple threat match at Night of Champions, but they did a good job of building up this match. I felt like this was going to perhaps be a title change, because the last two times I think they've done WWE Championship matches on SmackDown, there have been title changes. Back when Cody beat Drew back in March, and then go back to January when Drew beat Cody for the title in the 3 Stages of Hell match, or the 2 out of 3 falls, whatever they were calling it. So you thought maybe they'd do the title change, but they didn't. Or at least they'd have more of a decisive finish, even if Cody was going to win, but not really. Just an angle to set up the Night of Champions match, which we now know, no surprise, is going to be a triple threat match. So we go backstage. Kathy Kelly, can I just say, was looking great tonight, as always, but I really liked her outfit tonight. She was interviewing Jade Cargill, who had B-Fab and Mishin with her backstage. Jade challenges Tiffy at Night of Champions for the Women's United States Championship. After the break, Gunther, we go back to him. He was demanding a 4th championship match against Cody at Night of Champions. He was yelling at Nick Aldis. Solo Sikoa was backstage in the locker room when Jacob Fatu walked in. Then the Tongans walked in afterwards, and so they told Solo to stay out of their match. Damian Priest and R-Truth were out next. After the break, we got a Blake Monroe vignette on Julia, which I liked. But, Blake's done vignettes on everyone. Who hasn't she done a promo on? First, I think it was Rhea. Then I think she did one on Tiffany. And then it was Charlotte and sort of Alexa. And now on Julia, it's okay, but, I wouldn't mind that feud. But when, she actually going to debut. But they did mention that Blake wrestled Julia in probably Stardom, I'm assuming, the promotion. But they did have a match together. Or maybe it was Marigold. I think Stardom probably. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one. But, yeah, they've wrestled before, and I'm sure it was really good. Mariah May, that's what she used to be. Then they changed her to Blake Monroe. The Tongans were out next, and we get the WWE Championship Tag Team match. WWE Tag Team Championships on the line. Damian Priest and R-Truth defending their WWE Tag Team Championships against the Tongans, Talatanga and Tama Tonga. So Solo Sikoa said to get involved anyways. It backfires and the champions retain. To me, I thought this is the end of the MFTs. They walked out on Solo, and I thought, oh, they also walked out on their jobs because there's no place for them. If they don't get put in the new bloodline, because it's obvious it's only a matter of time before Solo eventually rejoins the bloodline, even though Jacob is already the enforcer now, but it's going to be Solo with the other four, only a matter of time. But if they're not going to include Tala Tonga and Tama Tonga, they're out of here. They're going to get fired. So we go to Sami Zayn talking to Johnny Gargano on a crate, planking once again. Candice is in the background, and Nick Aldis yells at Sammy. Sammy yells back. Jey Uso cut some stupid promo before Javon Evans walked up to him. He wished him luck, and then I think he called Jey Unk, which offended Jey because that means he's old. Carmelo Hayes was out next, and Ricky Starks was out too. No pop, as expected. We get a number one contenders match for the United States Championship at Night of Champions. Carmelo Hayes taking on Ricky Starks. So Ricky hit the old school in this match. Eventually, the whole story of the match was Ricky exposing the top turnbuckle. And unfortunately for Carmelo, he went the back of his head into the exposed turnbuckle, knocking him out, leading to Ricky Starks pinning him 1, 2, 3, and getting a U.S. title shot at Night of Champions against Trick Williams. I think Trick and Ricky makes more sense because I think Trick and Carmelo, you'd want to build that up more because of the NXT history, but we'll see. Nick Aldis was talking to Cody Rhodes backstage. Cody, of course, being the fighting champion, always doing what the fans want, just being a stupid moron. He's disingenuous. That's my problem with Cody as champion now. He's disingenuous. What kind of an idiot books a triple threat match? You're the world champion. Let's have a triple threat match. Hey, a match where I can get pinned and not lose my belt, which is probably what's going to happen. So it's just funny. It's like, I have to fight both guys. It's like, oh, he's just so cheesy and one-dimensional. Like this, he has like no brains. It's like this super goody two-shoes, ultra good guy comic book superhero. Like, it's like it gets to the point where it's disingenuous. That's what I sometimes feel with Cody, but. We got a triple threat match set up for Night of Champions. Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Sami Zayn, Undisputed WWE Championship. I really hope they put the belt on Sami Zayn on that show. So we had Kathy Kelly interviewing Charlotte Flair backstage before her match with Liv Morgan tonight. They showed Danhausen. I guess he was featured somewhat in the New York Knicks parade yesterday, and they showed him on the Stephen A. Smith show. He uncursed the Knicks, and they actually showed I think his name's Jalen Brunson. He was actually talking about Danhausen uncursing the team. So, look, whatever you think of Danhausen, I wasn't always the biggest fan, but he's gone mainstream. I made a short on that. He has gone mainstream. Check out my YouTube short. It's a phenomenon. And then they show Danhausen with Miz and Kit Wilson backstage. He has them set up like they're in an electric chair, which was kind of funny. In the electric chair, they put the thing over your head. I don't know what the hell it's called. I'm sorry. When you're down, that's like Miz and Kit, where it's almost like they're freaking zombies. But they're both like not even there. Miz is doing his old catchphrases. Los Garza walked in. They're upset that Danhausen didn't curse the Knicks because they wanted the Spurs to win, and then Matt Cardona stopped them from attacking Danhausen. Whatever. But you know what? I think Danhausen having one segment on the show is perfectly fine. I just don't really care about the Miz stuff, and I don't need to see Miz interacting with Danhausen, let alone anyone, to be honest, in the year 2026, but is what it is. I did think Danhausen having, again, one segment per show was best. Like, don't overexpose him. R-Truth and Finn Balor were talking backstage, and he wants Finn to get a championship match, and then Damian Priest was very upset that Truth was talking to Finn. Of course, he's still upset, as he should be, because Finn cost him the championship at SummerSlam a couple years ago. Jey Uso made his stupid Yeet entrance next. Of course he does. After the break, Javon Evans made his entrance, and we get a King of the Ring semifinal match. Jey Uso against Javon Evans. It's funny because the fans, for as over as we're told Jay is Jay really that over, or is it the fucking Yeet that's over? The Bloodline's over, and the right hand man, Jay Uso's over. I don't think the Yeet Man's over as a wrestler, as just, he's just an entrance merchant. I fucking hate the Yeet Man. It's not like I hate everything about Jey Uso. I really like the right hand man. I like the Usos as a tag team. Well, an all time great tag team. The Bloodline, perhaps the greatest. It is the greatest stable in WWE history, at least one of the best in the history of all of wrestling. It has to be up there with like the four, the Four Horsemen, the NWO. It's up there with them. For its success. It's the most successful, to be honest. But I hate the Yeet Man. I've always hated the Yeet Man, and it's funny because for all the merch he sells, he's really not over to the fans because they were doing the fucking Firefly gimmick. And I love Bray, but they were doing the Fireflies. They were like waving their hands because this match fucking sucked. The only person who can make Javon Evans have a shit match is Jey Uso. Jey Uso is easily the worst wrestler in the entire company. I'm not asking for Javon Evans to win King of the Ring. He should not be. I'm surprised he even got this far. But Jey Uso is so fucking bad that he made Javon Evans the most exciting wrestler, one of the most fun wrestlers to watch. He's bouncy. He balances off everything. He made him have a shit match. Jey Uso is fucking atrocious. Oh my God. And he beats Javon, of course he does. He shows respect to him after match. I fucking hate the Yeet Man. I can't tell you how much I hate the Yeet Man. Anyway, Jacob Fatu was confronted by Solo Sikoa backstage. He blamed Roman Reigns for the Tongans losing their tag team match tonight. I don't think the Tongans are going to be too long. They're not going to be in this company for too much longer. So we had a Julia video package. She talked about her match with Kiana James next week in London, and she mentioned that's where she was born. I knew that actually. She was born in London, England, but of course her parents, her father is of Italian descent, and her mother is of Japanese descent. And she was talking about how Japan's the nation of her mother. Italy is the nation of her father. Then she won the Women's United States Championship in the United States before, and now she's returning to face Kiana James in the place where she was born in London. So made her like a baby face. I definitely think she's beating Kiana, but we'll see what's next for her. Again, if she feuds with Blake Monroe, I'm into that. I'd like to see that. Tiffany Stratton was interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Oh my goodness, so much beauty between these two. Now the three, I should add three, because Chelsea Green walked in, and unfortunately Kathy walked out. But once again, Chelsea's trying to get Tiffany to be her friend. Tiffany didn't trust Chelsea still. Again, it's classic Paul Levesque booking. He's looking at something that worked last year with Charlotte and Charlexa, and he's trying to recreate it now with Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. It's kind of similar on Raw with Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Once I think Roxanne wins Women's Money in the Bank, he's going to recreate the thing with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax when she turned on Nia and she was her friend. I think eventually Roxanne will turn on Liv. But with the woman, Tiffany and Chelsea are not friends. They don't like each other. And, the Tiffany's rejecting Chelsea, but eventually they'll be friends and be a tag team. They did the exact same thing last year with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and that worked. So we got an NXT Origins on Alexa Bliss. I love that old version of Alexa Bliss, old school Alexa Bliss. He's really young, glitter Disney princess Alexa Bliss. She is the cutest thing you'd ever see in your life. I miss that Alexa Bliss, to be honest. I still like her now, but it's like I remember watching her. It's like, oh, she's so young. It looks like she's like 18 years old. It looks like she's like younger than that. And I remember her and all those girls. I remember when she first debuted, actually. She was confronted. She actually was in the locker room, and the BFFs, who consisted of her now tag team partner Charlotte, Summer Rae was in the BFFs, and another woman who confronted Alexa, who does not like Alexa in real life, obviously, was Sasha Banks. And that was actually the first match I remember her was Alexa against Sasha in NXT. But I like this. I love this version of Alexa because they don't talk much about it. And then she went heel with Blake and Murphy, and then that kind of led into the Goddess character. But I did like I like the NXT Origins. I'd like to see more of them, to be honest. They're fun to as a fun video package, reminiscing about a particular wrestler's career, all the gimmicks they have. I like it. Anyway, we got a Liv Morgan video promo after that. I think she's had her own NXT origins. I'm sure it's similar to Alexa because it started off so much different. At first, Liv was like the Jersey girl. That was her gimmick. Same thing with kind of Carmella had before her, but anyways, I digress. Then a Liv Morgan video promo on Charlotte Flair ahead of her semi-final match with her. Then we got a Brie Bell and Paige video promo. They fucking suck. They're outdated by 10 years. Everything sounds so scripted, so outdated. It's like, 2016 and 2026. It's not even that. I think 2015 maybe. They go away. They're horrible. They're the worst women's tag team champions ever. I wish they'd lose on Monday to Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, but they won't. Then we got a JC Jane promo with Fatal Influence backstage. Fallon Henley, I do think, has more potential than JC. I really like her look. It's not just that, she's beautiful, obviously, but I like Fallon. There's something about her that I've always liked in NXT, and her and Laney Reid want another tag team title shot. That tells you Paige and Brie are going to beat Bayley and Lyra this Monday, of course. Backstage, Cody congratulated Jay after his win. We're getting this shit at SummerSlam, aren't we? Then Sami Zayn walks up to Jay, says he'll beat Cody. I'm thinking, oh my god. Either one of these two matches, we are screwed this year for SummerSlam. I don't want to watch Cody Jay. I don't want to watch Sami Jay. I don't want to watch Cody versus Sami versus Jay. I don't want to watch Jay versus anyone. Unfortunately, Jay is fucking winning King of the Ring, isn't he? Because Brock's going to cost Oba the match. They preview Night of Champions, and then as Charlotte Flair was walking through a gorilla to make her entrance, her path was blocked by Jade Cargill, B-Fab, and Michin. And all I thought was, okay, this match is happening at SummerSlam. They have some words, and by the way, they weren't mic'd up right because when Jade was talking, you couldn't hear her. So there's been production issues with WWE as of late. I think that's unfitting. There's been noticeable production issues. Anyway, it leads to them attacking Charlotte Flair, and they beat her down. Michin and B-Fab beat her down first, and then I think what happens is Jade stomps on Charlotte's knee brace. Of course, it wasn't too long ago, about 2.5 years ago, I believe, about that, when Charlotte blew her knee out, destroyed her knee, had to have surgery, was out for over a year, and that's the knee brace, and Jade stomps on the knee, injures Charlotte Flair before her match with Liv Morgan. So Alexa was with Charlotte with the trainers backstage. We did see some Alexa on the show, and then we see Liv Morgan walking by, mocking Charlotte, heading to the ring. Then Charlotte limped into the ring. So Liv was out first. She did her entrance. She sang her entrance, kind of like what Rhea Ripley does. But then Charlotte limped to the ring afterwards, and immediately Liv attacks the knee. Nick Aldis is trying to get her to stop. I'm thinking, like, they're overprotecting Charlotte. Why? Why can't they just give Liv a clean win? Like, why do they have to do all the stuff with Charlotte to protect her? I'm thinking, oh, great. For what? Like, I don't want to attack Charlotte again. I've liked her work a lot with Alexa the last year, but it's like they're overprotecting her. I get it. Like, you can't give your women's world champion Liv Morgan one clean win. Is that too much to fucking ask for, WWE? It's like it tells you Triple H does not believe in Liv Morgan. He just doesn't. He'll never see her the way he sees Rhea Ripley. Understandably, Rhea is the biggest female star, but it's like he won't see her past a certain level. He won't give her a clean, decisive win over Charlotte, even though she's women's world champion. So we get the Queen of the Ring semifinals match. Charlotte Flair versus Liv Morgan. So Liv worked over Charlotte's knee. Charlotte tried to rally. I just have to say this. Liv Morgan is so sexy, isn't she? My God. I love, especially when she turns around, it's like, oh man, she has, I'll shut up. I don't want to goon over this woman. Everyone else does. And by the way, I have to mention this. That Liv, I feel really bad for her. She had that stalker guy. He was found not guilty, and I guess it's by insanity. I don't know, but like, fuck, that's unfortunate because that guy, he went to her house. I hope she's okay. It's unfortunate. So many of these women have to have these damn stalkers. Anyway, Liv kicked out a natural selection. She worked over the knee so much that the trainer tried to talk Charlotte out of going back. Liv had a half Boston Crab. Then we get Super Charlotte Flair chirping up, charging up. She kicked out of an Oblivion, and but then Liv puts the half Boston crab back on Charlotte, wrenches the leg all the way back, putting pressure on the knee. Charlotte Flair taps out. Liv Morgan wins. She defeats Charlotte, and she heads to the finals to face Io Sky. After the match, she celebrates. Alexa Bliss walked in the ring. Liv wins. That's you see my thumbnail. She defeats Charlotte Flair. She's in the finals. I just don't know why they couldn't give her a clean win over Charlotte, but that was the show tonight. I thought SmackDown was a decent show. A lot of people might not like it. I liked the show tonight because I felt like this was a 3-hour show that actually kind of worked because you had a lot of big matches. I felt like this was a bigger SmackDown than usual because you had Cody Gunther, Liv Charlotte, the other King of the Ring, Jay and Javon, and then the tag title match, and then the number one contenders match. It just felt like a bigger show tonight because you had a lot of big matches that meant something. And I did think a lot of the matches did, they didn't necessarily give you a lot of closure for tonight, but they did at least lead to something. So I thought tonight was actually a good 3-hour SmackDown, but I am still thrilled. I cannot wait until SmackDown goes back to 2 hours. The show has improved in the last few weeks, I would say, fair to say, but it's just how bad SmackDown's been this year as a whole. It's the fact, because of that, and because I don't trust the booking, I am still very excited to see SmackDown go back to 2 hours. 3 hours is just too much. It does not need to be a 3-hour show. SmackDown will be better off going back to 2 hours.